Hello, my name is Claire Salisbury, and I'm a specialist neurophysiotherapist and elderly care rehabilitation specialist. And I'm going to go through a seated Pilates program. So a seated Pilates program is useful for all those who are unable to do it standing or get on and off the floor. Now, with seated Pilates, the important thing is that you have a suitable chair. Now, that can be a dining room table chair or it can be a high back chair. What you don't want is a comfy sofa because it won't really help. And the important thing is, however you sit, you need to be able to get your feet flat on the floor. It's always good to make sure you've got a chair you're comfortable getting in and out of. And it's always good to have some water nearby. Now, the important thing with these exercises is to take your time and do them at your own pace. And you can stop and start it whenever you wish. Now, we're going to start doing seated Pilates potentially online, live, via Zoom. So please let us know if you're interested in doing that. Alternatively, we'll also be offering an actual class once the COVID-19 virus pandemic has settled. So I hope you enjoy this class. As I said, do it at your own pace and enjoy. So the first part is going to go through the upper body, then we're going to go through the lower body, and then we're going to combine the two movements before finishing with some stretches. As I said, take your time, and it doesn't matter if you don't do all the repetitions. And don't worry if you struggle to coordinate your breathing with the movements. It's good just to start moving. So initially we're going to focus on our posture. So you want to make sure you're sitting on the chair comfortably, your feet are resting on the floor. Now you want to think about sitting up nice and straight. You want a nice relaxed neck, shoulders down. You want to imagine you're melting your shoulder blades down into your waist. You come onto your rib cage and do a couple of nice gentle breaths. And this is the kind of breathing you need to try and adopt during this process. Nice and slowly and gently. And then if you place your arms on your hip bones, now I want you to imagine your pelvis is a big bowl of water, and you're going to tip the water forwards by tipping your pelvis forwards, and then you're going to tip the water behind you by tipping the water back. And you're going to go forwards and back a couple of times, feeling that movement on your hands until you find the middle. Now at the middle, the water won't be falling forwards or backwards. And this is your neutral spinal alignment where your pelvis is in its middle. And that's the position you need to adopt for all the positions today. But don't worry, I will be reminding you at intervals. The next thing is if you slide your hands down onto the soft bit just in front of your hip bones, you can feel where your abdominals or core stability muscles are. Now what I want you to imagine, you're going to do a gentle breath in, and then as you breathe out, I want you to imagine you're gently pulling your abdominals in, imagining you've got a belt notch with 10 notches and you just want to get to the 3rd notch. So you don't want to pull those muscles in too tight, it needs to be nice and gentle. And that's the contraction we want to do when I say engage your centre. Again, don't worry, I will remind you at regular intervals. The other thing you can do during this exercise is also have a pillow between your knees and give a light compression if you want to work your abdominals or core muscles more. We can do that in another series. What you also want to do is make sure your arms are relaxed by your sides, your shoulders are nice and wide, your neck muscles are relaxed, and you're sitting beautifully. Tuck your chin in a little bit to lengthen your spine, and imagine the string is pulling you up. Now we're ready to begin. So the first exercise is a nice gentle arm exercise and just involves gently breathing in, engaging your centre, and then as you breathe out, you're just going to reach forward with your arm and then take it back down. As you take it back down, you straighten it out with your palm facing down as you come up. Then you turn your palm at the end, at the start, and then bring it back in. So breathe in to prepare, engage that centre, those core muscles, turn your palm over, reach up to the ceiling, come back, turn your palm over. Good, the rest of the body should stay nice and still, feet calmly on the floor. Come up, pull back and turn. Come forwards, up You want to make sure your pelvis isn't tilting as you do so. So palm up, reach forwards, tuck your elbow back, palm down. Palm up, reach forwards, pull back with your elbow tucked in, turn down. Palm up, reach forwards, elbow back, palm down. We'll do a couple more of these, but remember this is only at your own pace. You're not in a rush. Good. Those of you that find this quite easy, you can do both arms at the same time. Those of you who are new to the exercise or aren't sure, do them one at a time. One of you has one arm, for example, following a stroke, not as good as another, or a shoulder injury, then do them one at a time. And one more, so palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down, and rest. Again, make sure you reset your posture, gently breathe in, engage your center, and then bring your elbow into position, palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down. Palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down. Good. Palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down. Palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down. Make sure you're not using your neck muscles. They should all be nice and relaxed as you do this. Nothing else should be moving. The movement should be purely focused on the left arm. So palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down. Palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down. Palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down. We'll do one more. Palm up, reach forward, elbow back, palm down. Well done. Each time, always remember to reset your posture each time as you go, so making sure those feet are on the floor, you're engaging your center, your spine's nice and neutral, shoulders down, and your shoulder blades are back, and you're opening that chest up. So the next one is a modified form of, it's called the modified dumb waiter, and it's again working on around your shoulders. So what you're going to do is rest your arms by your sides. Now, if you have a chair with arms, you can just rest them on the outside of the arms of the chair. Doesn't matter. So what you're going to do is bring your arms up here for the starting position. Do a gentle breath in, engage your center. You take both arms out to the side as far as you're able, and then you come up with palms up to 90 degrees. Then you bring your elbows down, tuck your arms in, and rest. So come up, elbows, arms out, lift up the shoulders, tuck your elbows in, bring your arms down, palms down. Palms up, elbows out, arms at 90, tuck your elbows in, bring your arms in and down. So it's a nice, simple, slow process. Your arms don't go as high as this, that's okay, just go as far as you're able. The important thing is, it's good to do this one both sides at a time, but if you're not able to, you can do it one arm at a time, it's fine. Again, the important thing is you're keeping your center engaged, you're still imagining that string pulling up from your head to keep you nice and tall and elegant. Lovely, keep going. As I said, if you find it too hard to keep going, that's fine, just do it at your own pace. It's better to move than not move, so if you just have to do a little bit, it's a great start. That's it, so bring them in and down. We'll do a couple more, palms up, arms out further, elbows down, arms in, palms down. And one more to finish, palms up, arms out, arms down, arms in, and relax. And if you need breaks in between, that's absolutely fine. And if you find the number of repetitions isn't enough for you, you can increase them. Also, you can decrease them. Only do things at your own pace. And remember, it shouldn't be painful. Okay, so the next one involves extending your arms up, forwards and up. So you want to bring your arms up here, so your elbows are bent at 90 degrees and your palms are up, and then you're going to punch up in the air and back down. So you keep your fingers in a fist format and you alternate between one and the other. So you do a gentle breath in, engage your center, and then float your arm above your head and back down. Again, your body should be moving. You then move on to the other one. Should just be isolated. That's it. Nothing else should be moving. Your center should be nice and engaged. Your feet making good contact with the floor. Keeping that spine in the neutral position. And keep that center nice and engaged. Engage that core. Squeeze it to that third belt notch. Good. That's it. Keep going. That's it. Keep going. So you're gently reaching up as high as you can. Imagine your arms are nice and light and just floating up to the ceiling. You may feel this in your upper back if you're not used to exercising, and that's fine. Good. And one more on each side in one moment. Again, just relaxing and reaching that arm up, and then the other arm up, and then relax. And then just do some shoulder rolls. If you're able to, again, keep the center engaged, keep the spine nice and neutral. Just relax your arms over the side of the arms of the chair or resting by the sides, and roll your arms back 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then relax your hands on there. Okay, the next arm exercise we're going to do is going to involve bringing your right arm initially, so your left arm stays relaxed on your lap. You're going to gently breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, you're going to float your arm to 90 degrees and then reach it to touch the shoulder of the left arm. Then you float it back to the 90 degrees with the elbow straight before lowering. So we'll go through that again. Breathe in. Engage your center, float your right arm to 90 degrees, bend at the elbow to touch the left shoulder, then float it back to 90 degrees and down. Good. Float the arm up to 90 degrees, keeping the center engaged, float across to touch the other shoulder, float it back and down. Good. Float the arm up, float it to touch the shoulder, glide it back so the elbows are straight, and then back down. Float up, float across, float back and down. Again, nothing else should be moving, but you want to make sure your spine is nice and strong and your center is nice and engaged. It's really good. So come up, float across, float back and down. Do a couple more with the right arm. So your arm should feel nice and light. Your neck muscles shouldn't be working overtime. And down. Good. We'll now move on to the left arm. So as I said, make sure you reset your pelvis. If you're not sure if you've slumped back in the chair a little bit, just rock your pelvis forwards and back a few times. Make sure your feet are nice and comfortable on the floor. So again, breathe in to prepare. That's it. And float your arm up as you breathe out. Float it across to touch your right shoulder. Float it back and down. Good. Float up, float across, float back and down. So the arm should feel nice and light. There shouldn't be a painful movement. If you find you can't reach your shoulder, that's fine. Just float the arm as far as you can. So if you can only go here, that's fine. If you can get to the shoulder, that's fine too. You're working with your own range. Float the arm up, float the arm across, float it back and down. All the while keeping your arms nice and relaxed. The rest of your body should be nice and centered. Float your arms up, float across, float back and down. Float up, float across, float back and down. Don't forget to keep your center engaged as you float the arm up, float across, float up and down. We'll do 3 more. So it's coming up, over, back and down. Again, it's nice and simple, going at your own pace. And if you find the number of repetitions not enough, you can increase them. If you find it's too much, just reduce them. Remember, you're taking your time and doing them at your own pace. Good. And one more for luck. Float the arm up, float across, float back and down. Okay, the next one we're going to do is involving our arms crossing the body again. So again, you're going to breathe in to prepare. Make sure your feet are nice and centered. You're engaging your core. And then as you breathe out, you're going to place your right palm down here. And then you're going to do like a swimming stroke, but you're going to touch the outside with the left knee. And then you're going to do a big arch to swing it back to the side of the chair. So we'll go through that again. You're going to breathe in to prepare, have your right arm resting down by your side, your center engaged. Then as you breathe out, you're going to take your arm up outside, so you turn your hand, palm facing forward, reach over across your body, and then aim to touch the outside of your left knee, and then you're going to do a big arch with your arm to take it all the way back. Now, if your arm doesn't go as high as this, you can go at this angle at a lower angle. What you're mainly wanting to work on is really mobilizing the joint of your shoulder and your ribs and upper back, as well as just reaching across your body. You'll give a nice stretch to your trunk. That's it. So it's a nice wide movement, keeping your center engaged as you do so. You will feel a slight shift of your weight from one side to the other, but you don't want your bottom cheek lifting off. If it's lifting off, just don't take your arm as far. That's it. So remember, keep your center engaged, reach your arm up and over, and then come back. Do a couple more, reach over. You want to keep your face facing forward so your head is not following the movement. You're just focusing on the arm movement, coming over and back. We'll do one more, and back. Then place your hand on your lap before starting with the other one. So bring your left arm by your side, gently breathe in to prepare, make sure your center is nice and engaged, then you turn your hand, palm facing forwards and reach over. Some of you may find you've got more movement available from one side than the other. That's okay. If you have a specific neurological condition, you might find one side is a lot better than the other. But it's important that we work both sides as best we can, but you want to avoid any necessary pain. As I said, you will get a slight shift in weight as you come over, and you will feel a stretch in your trunk, your torso. That's it. Good. So you're just going to reach up and over and back. We'll do a couple more. As I said, if you don't have the full range, just do what you can. And if you can only get to the side of the armchair, that's fine too. Last one, and back. And that's the end of the arm exercises. So the next part of the exercises is first of all working on the trunk before we move to the legs. So there's just one exercise for this one that we're going to do on the trunk. So again, you want to make sure your feet are flat on the floor, your legs are relaxed, your spine is in that neutral position. So again, you may need to rock your pelvis backwards and forwards. Imagine there's a bowl of water till you get to that center point. Remember to use your third belt notch. You're going to pull your abdominals into the third belt notch to engage your center. You want your chest nice and open. You want to breathe through your lower ribs. And you want to imagine there's a piece of string coming from the top of your head, pulling your head up just to grow nice and straight. And you may need to tuck your chin in a little bit. As we get older or we have neurological conditions, sometimes we're prone to poking our heads. Okay, so what we're going to do, it's called the lower reach, and what it involves is you breathe in to prepare, engage your centre, you float your arms about an inch off the ground from your knees, and then you're going to lean forwards as far as you're comfortable. You can go all the way to the ground, that's fine. If you can't, just go as far as is comfortable or as far as you feel safe. Stay there for a moment, then you're going to come back, keeping your shoulders down, so your arms are still hovering an inch off the legs. So breathe in to prepare, breathe out, float the arms down. And then as you come back, imagine you're peeling your spine back, vertebra by vertebra, so they're all stacked on top of each other, and you're at the top. Now, if you feel really anxious coming forwards, you can always have a pillow in front to hug. So you lean forwards, so you're then leaning on a pillow. You can go just as far as this is fine. You breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, you come back. Breathe in, engage your centre, float the arms down, so they're touching the floor or wherever you're comfortable. If they only reach as far as the legs, that's fine. And then as you come back up, you slowly come back up, vertebra by vertebra, all the way till you're back to the top. And don't forget to imagine you're sitting up with a string pulling up. So breathe in to prepare, engage that centre, float the arms down, all the way to the ground, and then float them back up by coming back vertebra by vertebra to the top. Now, if you find it difficult to go that far forwards, you can slide your hands down your legs to help the movement, but you can try not to, but it's absolutely fine if that's what you need to do, it's best. And then you hold it as far as you can go for a brief moment before coming back up. Try and avoid, as you come back up, pulling your hands to lift up. The movement should be coming from your core muscles and your back muscles. So again, breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, float down to the ground, so your hands are touching the ground. Hold it there for one moment, and then as you breathe in, and then breathe out, you come to sitting back up straight. Good. Do a couple more. Float the arms up, breathe in, engage that centre, and then slowly and controlled, come all the way down, and then come back up. Good. We'll do one more. Breathe in, engage your centre, and then float down, and then come back up. Good. Now we're moving on to the legs. So it's really important, even if you're not able to mobilise and you're wheelchair bound, if you're able to do exercises for your legs, that's brilliant. Now before we do, just remember your posture, feet on the ground, legs in lovely line. You're sitting nice and straight, sitting on your bottom bones. You're not slumping back in the chair or hanging forwards. You're nice and neutral around that pelvis. Your centre's engaged, you're breathing from your lower ribs. Your chest and spine is nice and open here, and you're nice and light, and your arms are relaxed. Good. So the first one we're going to do is involving the ankles. So the first one we're going to do is just practice, it's just the heel lift. So your feet are on the ground, and what you're going to practice is just lifting the heels off and back down. Heels up and down. The rest of you should stay nice and stable, and try not to hold onto the arms of the chair for support. What you want is your abdominal muscles to do the work. Ideally, do both of them together. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. Just do one at a time. You want to move up and down, but the rest of you should stay nice and still. Good. Just a couple more heel lifts. And one more. Keeping that posture. This time you're going to do the toe lifts. So by doing that, you're going to breathe in to prepare, engage your centre, and then lift your toes up. So your heels will be down. So with your toe lifts, you're going to pull your toes up and down. You're going to pull your toes up and back down. Good. Pull your toes up and down. Pull your toes up and down. Toes up and down. Keeping everything else nice and still. And again, you can always have a pillow between your knees to give it a little squash to work you harder. Good. Up and down. And one more. Up and down. This time what you're going to do, you're going to stay nice and still, nice and tall and elegant. Breathe in to prepare, engage that centre. And as you breathe out, you're just going to bring your right foot forward about an inch off the ground. And you're just going to gently do circles, 5 one way, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then whilst you're there with the right leg, you can either rest it for a moment or keep going. You're going to just practice pointing your toes down and then bringing your toes up. Point your toes down, bring your toes up. Point your toes down, bring your toes up. Point your toes down, bring your toes up. The important thing as you're doing this is that the rest of you, your centre's engaged, you're nice and tall. And you're keeping that pelvis where it is, you're not sinking back in the chair. And one more. And then relax the right leg down. Now we're going to do exactly the same with the left leg. So to start with, you're going to breathe in, make sure your centre's engaged. And as you breathe out, you're going to float your leg about an inch off the ground. Then you're going to do 5 ankle circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can either rest for one moment or you can keep going by pointing your toes and pulling your toes up towards you. Pointing your toes, pull your toes up towards you. Pointing your toes, pull your toes up towards you. Pointing your toes and up. And again, just as I said before, make sure your centre's nice and engaged. You're sitting on your sit bones, you're tall. Imagine that piece of string lifting you up. And you're not using your hands to help secure you. Good. And one more, and then relax it back down. This time we're now going to work on the knee. So again, the important thing is what's my pelvis doing, what's my posture? So you just want to nice, gentle breaths. Make sure your pelvis is in that neutral position, your centre's engaged, and then breathe in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to float your right leg up so that your knee is straight. And then what you're going to do is as you come back down, you gently lower it. So breathe in, engage your center, lift the leg up. If you're able to bring your toes up at the same time, that's great. If you find it's too uncomfortable at the back of your leg, that's fine. The main aim is making sure you can get this knee as straight as possible without moving your middle. So you shouldn't be rocking backwards or reaching for the arms of the chair. So for example, if I can't lift from the knee, that's it. Straighten up and down. Good. Straighten up and down. Up. So keeping the centre nice and engaged, nice and tall as you do so. Make sure you get that knee as straight as you possibly can. If your toes are up, great. They're not, just do what you can. We'll do one more on the right. Lovely. And now we're moving to the left. So again, breathe in, engage the centre, make sure you stay nice and tall. As you breathe out, float the leg up and back down. Then you float the leg up, you straighten that knee. Do you really want to straighten that knee without rocking backwards? There we go, just gently up and down. There we go, keep going up and down. Again, making sure your centre stays nice and strong. If you find your leg muscles shake, that's okay, it's just because they're being worked. Keep that centre engaged as we do a couple more. That's it, one more, and relax. Okay, so then what we're going to do, I want you to sit forwards a little bit on your chair, so we're just going to shuffle forwards a little bit, Not so that you're too close to the edge, but that you're comfortable. Okay, and then you're going to walk your feet slightly forwards. So for the next one we're going to do is called hip opening. So it's really good for working the joints around your hip. So again, you always need a good starting base. So breathe in, engage your center. Imagine that string pulling through the top of your head, bringing you up. Your arms should stay nice and relaxed. You can either rest them by your sides for this one, rest them on the arms of the chair, or rest them on your legs. Ideally, you want them resting by your sides. So you're going to breathe in, engage your center, and then you're going to take your right hip out to the side and back in. So again, your left leg will stay completely still. But with your right leg, you breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, you float from the hip out and back in. So as you float from the hip out, you want the movement to come from the hip and the knee. Everything else stays still. Your foot will come over to the side and back. For some of you, it will roll over more than others. As you do so, what you want is it's a completely isolated movement, coming forwards and back. That's it. So it's just coming out to the side, everything else. If you find you can only go to here, that's fine. Remember, it's your movement for you. And you're just taking your time and doing it in your own way. Just do a couple more. Lovely. Now we're going to move on to our left. So again, always have a posture reset. So is your center engaged? Are you nice and tall? Is your pelvis nice and strong? Breathe in, and as you breathe out, take your left hip out to the side and back in. As you can see, I moved my right hip then, because you can see you lost the chair. So remember, whenever you take the leg out to the side, you need to keep the other one perfectly still. You will find one hip possibly has more movement than the other, particularly in this position. And that's fine, because we're not all the same. So gently taking it out to the side and back in. So you're rolling the leg out to the side. Be nice and comfortable. You shouldn't be getting any pains. You might feel an occasional stretch. That's it. And then just do a couple more. Keeping nice and tall, nice gentle breaths from your lower ribs. And one more. Good. Okay, now we're going to do a sort of stepping type action. So for this one, you want your arms resting by the sides or on the sides of the chair. You've got a chair with arms. If you find that too uncomfortable, you can tuck them in by the side, but don't sit on them. So you're going to breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, with your right leg, you're going to lift your knee up, and then you're going to extend it forward to touch the ground. So, for this one, you're going to breathe in to prepare, engage your center, and as you breathe out, you're going to lift your right knee up about an inch off your thighs, an inch off the ground, off the chair, and then extend it forward so your heels touching the ground. You're then going to lift it up, bend the knee, and place it down. So you're going to breathe in to prepare, engage your center, float the knee about an inch off the seat. Then you're going to straighten your leg forward so your heels touch on the ground. If you can get your knee straight as well, that's great. Hold it there for a moment, then breathe in again, engage that center, and then as you breathe out, you bend the knee up again and place it back down. So again, you breathe in to prepare, engage your center, breathe out, bend your knee up towards you, and then step it forwards with your heel down if you can, toes up, straighten the knee if able, before lifting the knee up and placing your foot back on the ground. So it's a lift, place forwards, then a lift and back. You want to avoid any rocking side to side as you do so. So it's a lift, make sure your center's engaged. Extend the leg out, straighten that knee if able, then lift and back. Good. lift, come forwards, lift, and back. If you find your leg drags a little bit, just don't go as far forward. Okay? But if you can, you lift, place your leg forward, straighten that knee, lift, bend your knee, and back. Lift, float the leg forwards to heel touch the ground, knee straight if able, bend your knee and back. I'm going to do exactly the same on the left side, so breathe in, engage that centre, and lift, bend the knee, extend the leg forward, straighten that knee, toes up, and then lift your knee up and back down. Some of you wear a splint to help with your ankle. You don't have to wear them for this. If you find your foot drops, that's fine. You just want to avoid it dragging on the ground. So you bend the knee up, extend the leg forward, straighten that knee, lift your knee up again and back. So you're going to lift up, extend the knee forwards, lift up and back. Lift up, extend forwards, lift up and back. And one more, lift up, extend forwards, lift up and back. Good. Well done. And those are the leg movements for today. Now we're going to do a couple where we're combining arm and leg. So what we're going to do first, we're going to breathe in to prepare, engage your centre, and then what I want you to do just to start with is with your right arm by your side, as you breathe out, float your right arm up and down. Good. This time what you're going to do, you're going to float the arm up. As you do so, you're going to extend the left leg forwards and then lift it back. So the exercise we've just done, you're going to repeat, but this time with arm lifting. So it doesn't matter if you don't get your arms as high, but ideally that's what you want to aim for. So float the right arm up, extend that left leg forward, straighten that knee if able, hold it there for a moment before coming back down, then coming up with the left leg, extending the right forwards and coming back down. And then the left leg, right arm, right leg. Good. And so you're alternating between the two. And this mimics walking. You can go nice and slowly, or you can go at a quicker pace. What you don't want to do is again slump back as you do it. You want to stay nice and tall. If you're not able to lift your arm and leg as far forward, you just go as far as you're comfortable and back in, with the hope that you build it over time. The important thing is you keep that posture so the chest nice and open and your centre is nice and engaged. Good. The last one we're going to do is taking your left leg forward and right arm to the side and down. So again, it's opposites. Left leg forwards, right arm, but as opposed to coming forwards, it's just going out to the side to 90 degrees, because this makes your middle work a little bit harder. So you breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, you float your right arm to 90 as you take your left leg forwards in the action we just did. So you float your right arm to 90 as you straighten that left leg and back. Arm up to 90. Now, for those of you that find combining the two movements too hard at this stage, don't worry, it will come with practice and it's really good for your core stability. So I'm just going to do a couple more. And one more. Now we're going to move on to the other side. So again, always reset that posture, make sure your feet are flat on the floor. Centre's engaged, your spine is nice and strong, and you're nice and tall and elegant with the string pulling you up. So now you're going to float your left arm to 90 as you extend your right leg and then back. Float the arm to 90 as you extend your right leg and back. Going to float your left arm to 90 and extend your right leg and back. Going to float your arm to 90 and extend your right leg and back. Keep that centre engaged as you float the arm up and the leg at the same time. We'll just do a couple more on this side. Lovely. And one more. And rest. Well done. We're now going to move on to some gentle stretches. So we're going to start in our legs first. And what we're going to do, you're going to place your right foot forwards. Try and bring your ankle up, toes up towards you. You might feel a stretch in your calf or in your thigh or even in your bottom. You're then going to place both hands on your left knee, and then you're just going to gently lean forwards, keeping your head up. You should feel a bigger stretch there. We're just going to hold that for a moment. If you feel the stretch isn't not strong enough, you lean further forwards. If you find it's just too much, just ease back. You should just feel a stretch, it shouldn't be agony, and you shouldn't be cramping up. Good. And then we're going to move over to the left leg. So you're going to extend the left leg out in front, pull your toes up towards you, then place both hands on the right knee, and then lean forwards to feel the stretch down your calf and hamstring, the muscle at the back. If you don't feel enough, lean forwards and hold it there. And then come back up. Good. So then what we're going to do is just move on to stretching our trunk, our sides of the trunk. And for that, I want you to gently breathe in, still engage your centre, and as you breathe out, take your left arm down the side of the chair, keep your head facing forwards, and you should stretch this side. And then come back up. And then go down onto the right hand side. Don't lift your bottom off the chair, you're purely stretching this side. Keeping your head facing forwards as you do, and come back up. This time we're going to stretch the trunk a little bit more, so you're going to take it down the left side as far as you're comfortable, then bring the right arm in and stretch and reach over as far as you can. This arm should be relaxed. If you don't feel safe, you can gently hold on to the side, but you should have chosen a chair that allows you to feel safe and comfortable. Now we're going to do the same on the other side, so you're going to gently come down the right, float this arm over as far as you're comfortable, keeping your head facing forward, and then gently back. The next one we're going to do is a spinal twist. So for this one, what I want you to do is, if you're able to hold on to the back of the chair or the arm of the chair, do so. If not, just rest it behind you. We're going to breathe in to prepare. Keep up nice and tall as you turn to this side of the left side. Keeping your head up, body nice and straight, and your right arm should come to your left thigh to help stretch it. And hold it there for a moment, and then come back. Good. Now we're going to do the same on the right side. So you're going to place your right arm behind you, either on the arm of the chair, back of the chair, whichever's comfortable. Nice gentle breath in, keep your centre engaged, up nice and tall as you turn, twist with your spine to the right hand side, and your left arm should come on the outer part of the right thigh. And then come back. Good. And then for the next one, if you're able, you place both hands behind you on the chair, either holding onto the back of the chair or just on the fabric behind you. Whatever's easiest and most convenient, making sure your feet are flat on the floor. And then what I want you to do is try and pull your shoulder blades back together and lift your chest forwards and up. So it's opening the chest up. And hold it there for a moment. And then relax. Then what I actually want you to do for one moment is slump down, so resting your hands around your knees, slump down so your chin's on your chest and your spine is curved. Then what I want you to do is to then come and sit up, starting at the pelvis by bringing the pelvis forwards, then coming straight up, finishing with your head coming back up. And then we're going to curve down again, starting with chin to chest, around your shoulders, curve your spine down, sink back, keeping your feet on the floor and hands staying on your knees. Then you're going to come back from your pelvis forwards, vertebra by vertebra coming up, until you finally lift your head. Good. Now I'm going to just do a couple of arm stretches. So with your right arm, I want you to put it across your body, and then with your left hand, stretch it over a little bit more. If you can't reach there, just pull from here. Really stretch. Keeping your head facing forward, your feet flat on the floor, and your centre should still be engaged, that third bell notch. And back. Now we're going to do the same, so your left arm comes across your body, then you stretch it further with your right hand, either on your upper arm or lower down, whichever is comfortable for you, and you get a better stretch. The important thing is keep your head facing forwards. And come down. Then for the next one, ideally put your hand behind your back if you can. If you can only get to here, that's fine. Then with your left hand, either push at the top to come back. If you can't, push from here to come back. To give your arm a nice stretch. The important thing is your head's facing forward, it's not tucked down. And down, then do the same again. So left arm behind your back and right arm, either at the elbow or other points in the arm that you're available to stretch your hand behind your back a little bit further, but making sure you keep your head up. Good, and down, and then just shake those arms out for a minute. Then we're going to finish the session today by just doing a couple on the head. So the first one is just taking your chin, curving it down to the chest. And holding it there for a minute. And then slowly peeling vertebra by vertebra back up. And now for the next one, we're going to take our left ear to our left shoulder. Then with our left hand, place it on your right side of your head to turn. To stretch, and you should feel the stretch down your right side. Keep your head facing forwards. And come back up. And now take your right ear to your right shoulder. Then with your right arm, you're going to stretch a little bit more. And you should feel it down the left side. And come back up. And that's it, we're finished. I really hope you enjoyed today's seated Pilates session and that you join me in the future for more Pilates sessions. Thank you. Goodbye.